Okay, we live. So peace to the family, peace to the family. We are bringing you guys we're in good spirits. We're in good spirits. The energy is good, but we're bringing you a somber, this is a very serious discussion, or story, if you will. This may not be too much of a discussion. We're just listening, right? Um, so I want to introduce Kelsey and kind of just move out of her way. But this is what I do want to say. Queen's Throne, you are more than welcome to jump on the panel. Let me make sure I get the link to you. But I want everybody that is a moderator to be extra, extra vigilant tonight. So just don't have a second thought. Time out anyone that even looks like they might need to be timed. Like if you even thinking about timing them out, just time them out. You know what I'm saying? And if it looks like that wasn't good enough, just clip their wings. Just block them. Get them out of here. Zero tolerance tonight. With that being said,
okay.
Peace.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Doing good. Greetings, everyone. My name is Kelsey, and so I'm here to share a story. So was 14. My mom and we lived together. I was raised by a single parent mother. My mother was a dancer, like exotic dancer. She brought home someone one day to meet me. Yes, and that person is Shaka. That person was Shaka. So Shaka was a bouncer at the club that my mom was working at.
Say his government, please. Excuse me.
Oh, Alex Ingram.
Yep. Alex Ingram. Go ahead.
So yeah, and they were together. And she they were I guess they were in love or whatever. I don't know. They were together for a while. It's Alex Angram, I think, with an A. So we lived in Queens, Springfield Gardens, in New York City. That's where I was going to school at. When I was going to school in Springfield Gardens, I was a freshman in high school. In some way, as a kid, like at that time, I thought that he was homeless, living with us because he had nowhere else to live.
So when you say offering yourself up to him like a sacrifice, a sacrificial lamb.
Yeah, kind of like that. Or like, in some cultures in India, kind of like giving your child up for marriage, not for marriage, but maybe something like that. Like, is she giving me? I just kind of felt betrayed because I thought it was me and her, me and her, like against the world or something. I thought it was just like me and her. But I guess not. I guess it wasn't. But yeah, I remember one time my mother kind of called me over to her. She said, "Kels, come here." I said, "Yeah." She said, does Shaka touch you?" And this was way long after everything had happened. I was so terrified and so scared that I told her no. And that was the first and the last time she ever asked me if Shaka was ever touching me. She said, does Shaka touch you? That was the first and the last time she ever asked me, and I told her no.
Do you by any chance remember how old you were when that happened?
It had to be, I think I was 15 still, because a lot happened this year. I mean, in that year. So as of right now, I'm 32, and so yeah, that whole year, it just kind of happened. It just kind of progressed so quickly, and it just kept going and going and going. So after the strange PTA night, um, he I think I left that high school because my mother had a stalker. So and it wasn't Shaka, it was someone else, and his name was Rick, and he burned my mother's BMW down. My mother is kind of like what I thought would be considered like a femme fatale. She kind of lures these guys in. She does, she manipulates them. But my mom was like, "Kelsey, you want to move back to Texas?" I said, "Yeah." And I think that was at the first time I realized that I could get out. I can get the fuck out of here. At the end of the year, Nikki, I don't know if you remember this, but like I got real weird and quiet. I remember being kind of like outgoing, but and that was like sometimes and I isolated myself from all my friends, and I isolated myself. I even just like started having a different lunch. I started sitting by myself. Then I felt like an imposter. I felt like an outsider because Shaka was starting to get in my case and starting to give me lectures that he cannot go to prison. He would look me in my eyes. This was in the first time he had ever talked to me like, if you say something, you're going to get in trouble kind of thing. He was real stern and hard on me that if I say something to someone, he's going to go to prison and I can't say nothing. And then that time, and I remember going back to school, I wasn't I don't know if Nikki, you remember this, but I wasn't telling jokes and I wasn't like laughing anymore, and I was just kind of hanging out with Shaka all the time. A lot of these guys would see me around and I would just kind of be like right underneath him, just kind of following him, wherever he went. And then he would just have these debates with these grown men and stuff, and they would just kind of yell at women as they walk by and stuff like that, and kind of catcall them. Yeah.
You're saying Kelsey Steinnetter knew. He knew who
Uh-huh.
you were. He knew what was going on.
Mhm.
Can I chime in and say? Never mind.
Go ahead, Nikki.
Okay, so this beautiful young lady who reached out to me, and I'm not gonna lie, she's definitely one of the reasons why this whole Kelsey is feeling comfortable enough to talk about all of this, because this is something I've definitely pushed her to talk about for years. I was never aware of all the other men that was involved in knowing what he had going on. You know what I'm saying? But when I saw Shaka's video commenting on the other video where I was speaking on what had happened with Kelsey, he was 100% incriminating himself, because you can't sit there and what was this dude's name? Sanuti?
Steinnetter.
Yeah. You can't sit there and record someone saying, "You saw the video. Did it look like I was molesting her?" If you saw the video, that means that you're making yourself capable. You're implicating yourself in watching child pornography. You just implicated yourself right there.
Exactly.
So a lot of the times, Shaka was real weird. So a lot of the times when he was still having sex with me at 16 and 17, and I moved out of my mom's place there with him, he would look at porn a lot while having sex with me still. And the porn he would always he likes child pornography. I remember he would show me the porn that he likes. So he'd be like, "Oh, he would just kind of, back in the day, girls used to twerk on YouTube, and he used to kind of look at that. Like,
yeah,
he was born. His birthday is June 21st. So, yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like at that time, like even that's what I'm saying. At 31 years old, at the age I am right now, I have friends that are the same age as me, and I know there's certain alcohol not to give to them. It doesn't matter who the friend is. It's just like, oh wait, let me tell them to slow down, because they kind of throwing it back like that. he was in his late 30s when we were still teens, and he was offering us drinks. That's why I'm just like,
Yeah.
no, I don't deny it. I know he knew what he was
Oh,
doing.
he must have
because
been like at least
that's-
40 then.
Yeah,
that
it's just
time,
like, how are you
for
giving
sure.
us drinks and without thinking that this is going to affect us?
Because it's
in
an
a way that's
opportunity when you have someone that is
Yeah.
sexually attracted to children. Nikki, this is an opportunity. This is like, okay, so the boy, let's get the boy
Exactly.
drunk, and the two girls too, like 2 girls and a boy. It's like, you know, it's like 2 birds, 1 stone, like literally 2 girls, 1 boy.
Yeah.
That's an opportunity for real to jump in on that. Like from his perspective, I'm gonna, you know, that was an
Yeah. He
opportunity.
definitely wasn't going to stop
So can I ask,
finding ways to be a predator upon you guys.
so Kelsey, have you ever witnessed Shaka doing any type of like same sex kind of pornography or anything that like sex type of stuff? Or
his
no?
mannerisms alone are same sex. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it.
He
I'm a
has
part of it.
feminine, like he's what you may want to call like a metrosexual. He has like very feminine characteristics. Shaka was a victim as a child growing up. Shaka was a victim of molestation. His older sisters used to hump him. Like he has 1 older sister and I think 2 younger siblings. I think there's but I think there may be a total of 3 or 4 of them all together. But I think his older sister would hump him as a kid and like get her, and then like she would invite friends over and they would all just kind of like hump him and take advantage of him. Shaka was a victim. And I would always say this, hurt people.
Yeah.
Period. Misery loves company kind of thing. So I know even to this day when I'm hurt, I isolate. And Nikki knows I kind of lick my I quote unquote lick my wounds in private.
Yes, I have.